Quick episode recap. In a flashback, a young Setsu is introduced to his childhood friend, Yuuhi, by their parents. She invites him to play together, but he clearly has no interest in her. And so began their beautiful friendship. To Yuuhi, he initially seemed like an unfriendly boy, and was intimidated by him. But they spent a lot of time together as they lived close, and he helped her a lot with her studies, so gradually, feelings of love began to form. On their way home one day, Setsu notices Yuuhi stare intently at an advertisement for summer classes at a study prep academy. She wants to follow him to high school and asks for his opinion, but Setsu shuts her down, suggesting she aim for an easier school instead, stating it'll only make it harder for her later. This obviously upsets her, and she runs off. Yuuhi ultimately signs up for the prep school and diligently studies, but unfortunately, her test scores do not reflect that. On her way home, she bumps into some guys who notice her gloomy appearance and assume correctly that her mock exam results were bad. They tell her to give up on studying and follow them to have fun instead. They gang up on her, but Setsu suddenly appears and tells them to stop bothering her. Misunderstanding that she was dating him, they apologize and walk away. After they leave, Setsu comments that he somewhat agrees with what they said, as reaching beyond your limits won't help anyone. This casts an awkward silence between them, and the tearful Yuuhi eventually says even if she's not good enough, she still wants to attend the same school as him. Seeing her determination, he comforts her, stating he has no choice but to help her study. Wiping away her tears, she gratefully accepts his offer. In the present, girls are practicing magic on a target. While they are satisfied with their meager flame, Yuuhi shows them how it should be done, creating a flame that engulfs the target, surprising everyone. Elka commends everyone's efforts and ends their training for the day. Instead of leaving, Yuuhi rushes after Elka and Glain, wishing to ask about Setsu. They confirm that he is their companion, but Elka wonders if he feels the same. She has a longing to stand next to him and share their experiences together, but that seems far away. Yuuhi then requests for special training, expressing her desire to also follow Setsu. Staring out into the city, Elka states that this is the peaceful world Setsu created. She is sure that even at this moment, Setsu is likely fighting to protect the peace of this world. As Setsu's companions, they are prepared to move at a moment's notice, and Yuuhi also declares she shares the same sentiments, but strength is the one thing holding her back. To demonstrate her will, she and Elka face off against each other, clashing through their opposing elements, and fighting in some close combat. Surprisingly, Yuuhi is able to keep up quite well, and Elka praises how far she has come, saying that while everyone summoned is exceptional, she is still one of a kind. But even so, there is one key thing Yuuhi is lacking. Elka leads Yuuhi to the underground sewers, and informs her it's infested with monsters. The army occasionally uses it as a rite of passage for soldiers. She warns Yuuhi that something is coming, and what quickly emerges from beneath the water is a large crocodile-like monster. Yuuhi is frightened by its appearance, but Elka cautions that there's no time to be scared. She nervously casts a fireball, and it blankets the monster. Thinking she defeated it, she turns away, but Elka yells to not let down her guard. The monster recovers and lunges at Yuuhi, and it claws her arm. Despite the pain, she quickly casts another fireball, finally knocking it down. It's still alive, however, and Elka orders her to finish it, but she hesitates. Elka states that while Yuuhi may be her equal in terms of magic ability, she lacks the decisiveness to kill the enemy, which is important if you wish to protect those dear to you. Hearing this makes Yuuhi recall the first battle she had witnessed in this world, and the brutality of the war. Elka casts her ice magic on the monster, and kills it without flinching. She walks away without a word, leaving Yuuhi to reflect by herself on her lacking. Later, while she is sitting alone in her room dazed, Thea knocks and enters to visit. She heals the wound Yuuhi got earlier, and comments that Elka was crazy to send her into an actual battle so suddenly. She adds that she sees Yuuhi as a fellow companion as well. They might not know what Setsu was like in the other world, but the way he looks at Yuuhi is the same as how he looks at them. Thea comforts Yuuhi, stating Elka is pushing her because she wants to treat her as an equal. She questions why Yuuhi wants to follow Setsu, as it would put her in a lot of danger being near him. Setsu has helped Yuuhi many times in the past, so she wants to be of help to him. Coming to an understanding, Thea wishes her good luck and leaves the room to awaiting Elka. She tells her not to worry as Yuuhi is strong. Elka is confident Yuuhi can protect herself on the battlefield, but she worries her indecisiveness will cost her eventually. But Thea feels they shouldn't force their will on Yuuhi, as no one has that right. Rather, they should respect the path Yuuhi finds for herself. While Blaine walks out from a meeting, he sees Yuuhi waiting alone in the distance. He notices her discomfort and tells her that it's natural to be hesitant about taking lives, even if it's for the sake of those precious to you. She asks how he gets the courage to fight, and he states he simply chooses to inflict pain on others than allow those around him to suffer. This is what works for him, so he advises Yuuhi to find an answer for herself, stating Setsu would also want the same. A way to stay true to herself while fighting. Yuuhi seems to have found an answer. During practice, Yuuhi utterly destroys the target with her magic, creating a giant crater, and causing unconcealed surprise from everyone. She heads back into the sewers with Elka to demonstrate her found determination. With the approach of a monster, Yuuhi requests Elka to witness her answer. She casts a fireball on the monster, creating a pillar of flames, seemingly burning the beast to death from the intense heat. Elka is impressed by her strength, and was about to admit her determination was shown, but Yuuhi interrupts to tell her that the monster has not yet died. She only incapacitated it, and Yuuhi declares that she will never take a life, nor is she willing to lose. With a smile, Elka accepts her answer, stating it's just like Setsu's. But she warns that this requires a lot of power to pull off, and Yuuhi promises she will get stronger to follow through her determination. Sometime later, the king issued his decree that the knights will leave for the demonic nation in order to protect their citizens. Blaine demands the students to prepare themselves both physically and mentally, and dismisses them. The students worry about the coming war, but Yuuhi internally asks Setsu to wait for her. She dramatically climbs the stairs to her waiting companions, now finally accepted as their equal.